Sat Sri Akal, students. As we all know that due to COVID-19, the Punjab State Board of Technical Education and Industrial Training has so far scheduled your classes to online medium. Therefore, all the interactions will be online. I welcome you all in the fifth semester and in the first online video lecture of estimating and costing in electrical. We will follow the coursework as per the syllabus guidelines by the technical board. As far as the books are concerned, from my side, I prefer Estimating and Costing by Surjit Singh. It's a Dhanpat Rai and Company publication. The second one is Electrical Installation, Estimating and Costing by J.B. Gupta by Kataria and Sons. Besides these books, there are a few more like Estimation and Costing by S.K. Bhattacharya and one another by Kurashi. You are free to use any. You can follow any of these, but I strongly recommend purchasing at least one book for a reference purpose. Now coming to the subject, the internals will comprise of 25 marks for the practical and 25 for the theory. External constitutes 25 for the practicals and 75 for the theory. That accounts to 150 marks in total for the subjects. We'll have 3 hours of theory and 4 for practicals per week. Now, talking of the subject, the subject actually has the contents designed in order to develop a detailed knowledge and skills of estimating and costing in the students of electrical diploma. Now, going through the syllabus, you will be able to do and you will be able to learn various types of wirings, wiring systems, and how they are practically used. That means practicing and execution of any type of wiring. Further, the estimation and the determination of the cost analysis of wiring installations. To estimate the material required for high tension as well as low tension lines. Preparing a tender document for a particular project. Then to estimate the material required for a pole mounted substation. Talking of the first chapter, introduction, the contents are purpose of estimating and costing. Means why estimating and costing is required basically. Then a performer for making estimates, which will be the mathematical part involved on the made formats. Then preparation of material schedule, costing, price list, preparation of tender documents, and we'll be practicing 2-3 exercises as well. Net price list, market surveys, overhead charges. Then comes your labor charges, which actually include how to pay the labor for their work. These will be electrical point method, fixed percentage method, or per unit basis. Contingency, profits, purchase system in detail, including all the inquiries related. Then will be the comparative statements. Comparative statements will include preparation of the comparative statements and the procedures involved, orders for supply, and finally the payment of bills. Now, what estimating is basically? Estimating is basically an art through which we can get an approximation of the raw material or the material to be used, then the cost or the investment that is involved, and above all, the total time that is supposed to be taken for the completion of the electrical project one is handling. Preparation of good estimates is a professional's job, which actually requires knowledge of the materials and methods to deal with economics. So we can define a person doing everything related to it as an estimator. An estimator is a person who basically collects and evaluates the data in order to estimate the costs, resources, labor, and time needed to execute some project. The job of an estimator is interconnected with different aspects of the estimating in program in such a manner that it cannot be demarcated separately. Basically, what he does is estimating the quantity of the material and the cost involved, analysis of cost or the selling price, then maintaining proper accounts, then dealing with the provision of selling aids, or in short, you can say his duties include performing research, gathering quotations, preparing reports, and monitoring forecast plans. Now, how can we judge a good estimator? He should possess certain qualities or skills. The first one is thorough knowledge, knowledge regarding the work he is doing, and practical experience or practical exposure in the field of what he is doing. I mean, we are relating this to the electrification projects because we are dealing with estimating and costing in electrical. So, thorough knowledge and practical experience about estimation. He should have good analytical thinking skills. Of course, the knowledge of engineering science and latest technology should be determined, should have persistence, and should have ability to be initiative. He should initiate things, should have good imagination, and of course, experimenting power to an extent. Should be able to accept criticism. That is, he should be able to talk openly or to able to listen openly or discuss about his work and should be able to accept what the critics say. He should be able to work under pressure also and to be thorough and should pay heed to or attention to each of the details. He should look into every nook and corner of the project. The next question is, why do we need estimating and costing? What is the basic requirement? And what is the purpose of estimating and costing? The first thing is that it is necessary to know the material and the cost that is involved before starting the project. That means one has to plan before the actual process starts. You should know how much raw material you are needing and what will the basic cost involved. Second, to ensure all the materials required for the execution of the project. Third will be to avoid the misuse of money. That is to ensure that money is not misused in the projects that's under implementation. And the last one is, the last but one is to save time required for the completion of the project. Here, the time is saved as such that work is completed well within the time as we have planned before. And the last one is to complete the project uninterruptedly. The project should not stop in between because of the funds associated or because of the material associated or because of the unplanning. Thus, we can say that estimating actually helps to work out the approximate cost of the project. Whenever the proposal is approved, you need to work out the cost so that you can decide the feasibility with respect to the investment involved, and of course ensure the financial resources. The fiscal matter has to be tackled. Then secondly, from the quantities of different items of work, which we generally calculate in detailed estimation, resources are now allocated to different activities of the project, and ultimately their durations and the whole planning and scheduling of the project is carried out. It is used for making or framing of the tenders for the works, and to check the contractor's work during and after the execution for the purpose of making payments to the contractor. Now we come to the elements of estimating and costing. Pro forma for making estimates. The first element is pro forma for making estimates. Pro forma means a format which is designed to actually put the mathematical part of the project estimates. Then will be the specification of material. Specification is counting of the technical standards, the raw material we are using. Since we are dealing with certain parameters like voltage, current, and etc., therefore technical specifications are must. Preparation of making material schedule costing, then price list, net price list, market surveys, and of course market survey is very much essential, because without it you cannot handle the prices and other things. The knowledge of the deep knowledge of the purchase system. We'll be doing these elements of estimating and costing in the lecture 2. Enough for now. We'll be meeting again with the next video. Thank you for listening.